In the state of Washington, the law is designed to be a shield. It establishes clear protections for tenants, ensuring that a home remains a place of stability, not a source of uncertainty. Under RCW 5918-1240, retaliation against a tenant for asserting their legal rights is explicitly prohibited. This isn't just a guideline, it's a foundational promise that the system will act fairly. This principle extends to federal regulations as well. When housing assistance is involved, the rules are even more specific. 24 CFR CAR 982.5555 guarantees every family the right to due process, the right to be notified of a problem, and the right to a meaningful opportunity to be heard before their support is taken away. These protections exist to prevent arbitrary decisions, ensuring that choices about who belongs in a home are based on facts and law, not administrative convenience or clerical error. But what happens when that promise is broken? What happens when a system, built on these very laws, decides a father doesn't belong in his own home? A decision made not by a judge in a courtroom, but by an unseen process, hidden within a digital interface. A decision executed without a formal hearing, and most critically, before the deadline to fix the alleged problem had even passed. This is not just a housing issue, or a simple dispute over paperwork. This is a story about the immense power wielded by administrative systems, the critical importance of due process, and the devastating human consequences that unfold when both are misused. It's a story of a family caught in a contradiction, where the system that was supposed to support them instead failed to follow its own rules. Valerie King and Adrian Boyce are not statistics. They are parents, raising their children together in Washington state. Their home is a biracial household, built on a foundation of shared responsibility, care, and the pursuit of stability. It's a place filled with the ordinary, invaluable moments of family life. The morning rush to get ready for school, the quiet concentration of homework at the kitchen table, the shared stories before bedtime. This is a home where routines existed, where responsibilities were shared, and where a father was present, not hidden. When Adrian Boyce moved into the home on April 17, 2025, he did so openly and without concealment. He wasn't a secret or a temporary guest. He was a partner to Valerie and a father to their children, fully integrated into the fabric of their daily existence. He was the one making breakfast, the one reading bedtime stories, the one whose presence was a constant, reassuring part of the household's rhythm. His role was not defined by a line on a form, but by the daily, tangible acts of fatherhood and partnership. He was not hiding, he was not unknown, he was home. For a time, the home and the systems connected to it seemed to recognize this reality. It was a place that held all of them, a space where their family unit was whole. But the stability they worked so hard to build was far more fragile than they knew, vulnerable not to a breakdown from within, but to a decision from the outside. The system acknowledged him. He appeared in the housing portal. He received communications. Rent was accepted, including a payment on January 1, 2026. For months, the system treated him as part of the household. Until it didn't. On January 30, 2026, his status was changed to inactive. No notice, no court order, no eviction, just an administrative action. And yet, that one change became the foundation for everything that followed. This wasn't a case of defiance or neglect. Valerie King didn't ignore the system. She actively engaged with it, determined to follow every rule. She understood the importance of formal compliance and took the necessary steps to ensure her family's housing was secure. Long before any issues were raised, she initiated the process to formalize Adrian's presence in the home. This was a proactive measure, an attempt to work within the established framework, not against it. She gathered the required documents, navigated the complex online portals, and filled out every field with precision. Her actions were those of a responsible tenant trying to do the right thing, seeking to align her family's reality with the system's official records. On July 2, 2025, she submitted a formal request to add Adrian to the lease. This wasn't a request to add a stranger. It was a reasonable accommodation to officially recognize the father of her children, a man already integrated into the household and even acknowledged in the Housing Authority's own digital systems. It was a direct and transparent attempt to bring the household into full, documented compliance. But that request was never properly resolved. It entered an administrative void. There was no clear denial, no request for more information, no clear approval, no official outcome of any kind. The submission simply disappeared without a trace, leaving the family in a state of uncertainty. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Follow-up attempts were met with the same profound silence. This inaction became a trap. The system's failure to process a straightforward request was later reframed as the family's failure to comply. The silence was not neutral, it was a prelude to accusation. And then, they were blamed for the very ambiguity the system itself had created. April 8, 2026, a 10-day notice is issued. Deadline to comply? April 20th. April 15, 2026, the Housing Authority terminates their assistance. 5 days before the deadline even expired. How do you comply when the decision has already been made? How do you appeal something that was decided before you were given the chance to fix it? This isn't just policy. This is a father being removed, not by a court, but by a system. This is a family being separated, not by law, but by process failure. When automated systems have the power to define who belongs in a home and who does not, without accountability, without consistency, without due process, it raises a deeper question about justice itself. This story is not over. It is a call for accountability, a call for transparency, and a call to those in positions of power to ensure that no family is removed by administrative decision without justice.